Hello.
And hello, we should be live on YouTube. Hey,
On the
Kevin.
tube. Hey, Christiana.
On the tube. Um,
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying some New York sun mixed with New York clouds today. How
Same
about you?
here. Same
Yeah?
here in Rhode Island.
Nice. Nice. Looks like we already got a couple people watching on YouTube. Hello, folks. Welcome to Descript release office hours for version 63, which just just got all the info just got up on our changelog 19 hours ago. So this is hot off the press. I'm gonna send the changelog in the YouTube chat so you can follow along with us there. And yeah, well, maybe we'll give it a couple more seconds to let people join, but
Awesome.
yeah.
Folks are working in the app. Check out help.descript.com.
Mhm.
Visit our help center and go to feedback.descript.com to vote on feature requests, add your own, be part of the chatter.
Absolutely. And this is also a good time to say that if you're not already in our Discord, you definitely should join us. Yeah, we got over 12,000 Descript users in there now, which is wild.
Amazing.
But yeah, if you scan that QR code, it'll shoot you out to Discord and you can join us there. So it's a lot of fun.
Love it.
Love it. Okay, well, I'll say it again just in case someone new has joined or maybe a future person is watching, but
Future person.
hello future people and live people. um, I'm Christiana. I'm the community manager here at Descript, and with me is the wonderful Kevin, our product education manager. um, and you are here for Descript release office hours for v63, which just went out yesterday. This is a new type of event that Kevin pitched, where we go through the change log each time we push out new updates and walk through them, so that y'all can get a little bit more background. So that's what we're gonna do today, and I'm super excited that you're all here. Most of y'all are probably watching this in YouTube live. Maybe throw your questions in the chat, and as we go, I will get to bring them up to Kevin or save them for the end. So feel free to throw those in there. But I think without further ado, Kevin, maybe we can start jumping in.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool. So just a reminder, folks, you can follow along at feedback.descript.com/changelog. This is the version 63 release. And the first item here is transcription enhancements. We improve transcription at sentence boundaries, so you can expect fewer missed words. Kevin, let us know. What's that all about?
You'll notice it visually in the timeline here when you have a couple speakers or more and you have different colors in your timeline. You'll see these dark gray sections are perhaps misaligned words or words that might have been missed. And with this update, just expect fewer of those, especially at the beginning and end of sentences. That was a pretty common thing with transcription, was just seeing some errors and alignment issues at the beginning or end of a sentence. So if I deleted a word at the beginning of a sentence, kind of like if I dropped the so right here, sometimes when I remove that, it would only remove part of the word in rare occasions, but rare but regular. So we fixed that, and you should have very, very few start of sentence and end of sentence transcription errors and alignment issues.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like a solid improvement.
And if you do encounter any, you can still fix those in the timeline. I'll show you that right now.
You don't, and actually,
So you can see there's a little bit of an alignment issue with this and. you can hold Command or Control on your keyboard and correct that alignment. So it's perfect, just like that.
Super cool.
And I'm just clicking and dragging after I hold Command or Control.
Nice. Cool. Amazing. Looks like someone commented there are still misalignment issues. So maybe that means that you haven't quite updated yet to the newest version of Descript. So make sure you've done that. But if you experience continued issues, definitely submit a ticket to our support team. Someone would be happy to jump in and help you figure that out.
Mm-hmm. Transcription and alignment issues are also directly correlated with speech, audio quality, all of the things.
Yep.
So make sure you're getting the best audio quality you can for your content. You'll get better transcriptions.
Awesome. Cool pro tip. Full Ninja 05 says, I'm loving it. Me too, Full Ninja. Appreciate you. Cool. Sweet. Okay, ready for the next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. So next up is multiple audio input recording. It's now easy to add, remove, manage, and label up to 8 concurrent audio input devices for any audio or video recording. What's that all about?
Yes, this is very exciting. Create a new composition here. If we start a new recording, we're doing an audio only recording. So let me this is a video composition. Obviously, we have our scenes here on the canvas. I'm going to go up to File and set this composition to audio only, which you can always do that back and forth between audio and video. So clicking the record button here, we bring up the option to record, obviously audio only, camera, screen, combination of all of these, computer audio. But if I'm recording in person perhaps, and I have a device that has multiple inputs, like my PreSonus AudioBox i2 right here. It's a 2-channel audio interface. I can choose an input from that audio device here, and I can also add more. So maybe I have my speaker name. This stuff's all good. Studio sound if I want it. And then I can click Add Input right here. And that'll give me another one, Input 2. And maybe this is my guest. And just note that these controls right here are going to control both of the tracks that you are recording. So studio sound will be processed for each file from each of these mics, and each file will be transcribed. They'll be added to a sequence, transcribed directly into this composition, good to go. But nice little update. We brought back some features from Classic and combined them with some of the new features from Storyboard for this one. So check that out.
Awesome. Super cool. Someone asked a question about speakers to text. I'll bring it up. It says, explain how to add or replace speakers to text.
Ooh, definitely. So anytime you want to add or often change something in the script, you can click this plus button right here, which is our insert button. So you can add a marker, kind of a scene or section label, drop in files, new files, all that, and then also a speaker label. And all the way on the right-hand side here, we have our shortcuts to do these. So you can also use the @ sign on your keyboard, so Shift 2, and that'll allow you to change the speaker label to a new or an existing one. And this button right here also allows you to edit your speakers.
Awesome. Cool. Sweet. It's maybe a good time to also plug that we're doing a Descript 101 on Friday.
Yes, we are.
So if you have more questions about like some Descript basics, sort of nuts to bolts, all the stuff, definitely join us. I'll grab that link and throw it in the chat. It's this Friday, and you can ask ask Kevin even more questions. So
Love it.
cool. Sweet.
I'll
All
be
right.
there.
You'll be there?
I think so.
You better be.
I think I'm free. I might have to
Move some things around.
during my lunch time.
Oh, so sorry. You
Actually,
can
no, it's
just
not.
eat. That could be a new category of event. You're like eating lunch while explaining Descript.
Oh, what about making lunch?
There you go. Making, eating, whole thing. Yeah, like a giant sandwich, like
Stuff in my face.
falling apart on your keyboard. There you
That's what
go.
we do here at Descript.
Exactly. Precisely. Um, awesome. Okay, cool. Next up is drag and drop to canvas. So dragging media files into the canvas now adds to the script on a scene with no script, or adds a new layer if the script already exists. Show us how it's done, Kevin.
Let's do it. After this, also, I want to answer JP's question in the chat. It seems like they're having some trouble, so I want to make sure I double down on that word adjustment in the timeline.
Cool.
So this really falls into first, like when you want to add more transcribed media into your composition, whether it's in the middle, beginning, end. Really great way to do that is create a new. Sorry, I lost my screen share because I have my screensaver went on. Haha. There we are. We're back. We're back. Have no
Cool.
fear.
Screensaver got lost, or you're eating lunch,
I
and
just had to take a quick bite.
it was so quick.
So make a new line, and you can always drop in files right here or add them using the plus button. But this also allows us to do the same thing, dropping them in on the canvas for existing compositions, but most importantly to new compositions here. If I drop in, let's say, let me turn this into a video comp real quick. If I drop in a video over the canvas, it's going to add it to the script track. You can see there. You can also see at the bottom of the screen, a little pop-up came up that says hold shift to add this as a new layer. So that will be another option too, which will add it as kind of B-roll or an overlay, won't transcribe it. But you can drag and drop it here. You can drag and drop it here. All good for you, ready to go. Just note that that's the process. So we're making that the same as the script and the timeline. If I go back to my previous, if I do the same thing, I'm dragging and dropping a file from my computer. You just can't see that in our screen share. But if I drop this in over the canvas when there's existing script content, it's going to choose to edit as a new layer by default. Holding shift will be start at frame. Adding as a new layer is the default for in this case. So just another way to add media.
Cool. Nice. That's handy. Should
Can I
we
add one more? Can I add one more thing to this, Christiana?
You may. I'll allow it.
I'll commit it.
Yeah.
If I have if I have a blank scene, also I've created a new scene here by using slash, and I just have an empty scene like this. I can also add media to this section by dropping it here or dropping it on the canvas. So those both work.
Cool. All right. Good to know.
Cool.
Let's jump into JP's question real quick. Before we move on, just to make sure we hit that. So they originally wrote, "Hey guys, I don't know if my software has a problem, but I can't move the word boundaries, just the first word." I think you responded, hold command or control, but you want to demo that off?
Yeah, I think what JP's probably running into is you're holding command or control over this. You want to hold command or control over the edge of the word tab or the word
Nice.
bar. And that allows you to adjust the start point and the end point, like so.
Cool. Sweet.
Nice little clarification, though.
Yeah, good question. JP, give that a try. Let us know how it goes. Sweet. All right. Up next, audio layers in the timeline. No longer get cut off by scenes when dragged unless you snap an audio file to a scene boundary deliberately.
That is right. So if I'm here and I'm going to drop in a music track, maybe from our stock library, clicking that, dropping it in, will add it to the whole composition and cut it off at the end. Just note you can always extend those if they're longer by clicking and dragging the end. However, if I'm doing any work with music, moving this around between scenes, so let's say it's kind of like this, moving this around, it's not going to cut off the end of the file like it used to be. It will snap the beginning to a scene if you're close to it, which is really nice. But that will also change the end. If I'm here, you can see that shift pop up happening again. It says hold shift to ignore scenes. And none of this will be snapped to the scene. So I can just place this music wherever I want. And if I want it to fit it, if I want to fit it directly within a scene, I'll just hold it to the beginning of that scene.
Nice.
And we removed that in the beginning because a lot of times you're using intro music and you just want that intro music to last across maybe one, two, a few scenes. And so dropping it in the beginning will not change that interaction, but going to scene number 2 will.
Cool.
Sweet.
Good stuff. All right. Sounds like JP is still having some problems with the word boundary stuff. I have an MP4 file and the text that I wrote doesn't work. I was just able to move the first word.
Oh, text that you wrote. So we're working with transcribed media. So this is an MP4 file that we dropped in and then it auto-transcribed for us. So what that looks like is I take my MP4 from my computer and I drag and drop it in right here and it transcribes for me. I have my speaker label. And as this transcribes, and when it's done transcribing, I'm going to have all those word tabs in the timeline associated with the transcribed media. So that's the process that we're explaining. For yours, what you might be doing is you're starting to write. So you might have some narration. I wrote. So there's no possible way that there could be alignment issues unless we're working with maybe an overdub voice. And we're going to test it out right now. We'll let that process for us.
Cool.
So there should never really be any alignment issues with overdub because it's directly taking the transcription and the processed overdub audio and keeping those linked.
Cool.
So if you didn't process the overdub and it's just scratch text, there's actually not going to be any alignment to do because there's no audio yet.
Right.
That only happens when you're adding that actual overdub audio.
Sweet.
This up at our support team, just help.descript.com, and we can clarify and dig a little bit deeper for you, JP.
Totally. Yep. I threw that link in the chat. So you just click that. You can submit a ticket and start up a convo with one of our wonderful agents. Sweet. Okay. Next up, Kevin. Composition audio properties. We've brought back the ability to adjust audio properties on the entire composition from Classic.
That's right. So while we're navigating through our composition, our properties panel right here changes focus. So when we have our cursor in the script, you can see the script is in focus. So the actual narrative media that we're hearing, this is Adrian speaking. If I click the music file that I just dropped in, you can see that focuses. If I click a scene, I can change the properties of a scene. I can also do that by clicking around the canvas here. It's a quick shortcut you should know. to focus the scene. So you can, add a transition or effect to that scene. But if you want to overall just change any audio component of your complete edit, your entire composition, if you click in the title, you can change the overall volume of all files and all tracks in your composition right here. You can change the panning of the whole thing if you ever want to do that, which is moving audio between your left and right side or anywhere in between. That's what panning is. And then you can also add global audio effects to the entire mix. So this is what's referred to as mastering in other tools, adding files to an overall mix and overall edit. Adding effects and plugins to an overall mix and edit. And that's how you can do that here in Descript. Click in the title and you can add that stuff here.
Cool. Sweet.
Love it.
Awesome. All right. Up next, I think this might be our last major update. Cool. Copy to storyboard. We've massively increased project size limit when copying classic projects to storyboard.
That's right. We're going to take a walk down memory lane here. And here is a Descript Classic. So this might not even be viewable to some of you. If you're a newer-ish user, you might not have Classic access, which is the old version of Descript that will eventually go away.
Right.
Once we've incorporated all your feedback and whatnot into Storyboard. But for those of you that have been using Descript for a while, or you have Classic access right now and you're working on migrating your stuff and learning the new interface, there's a couple different ways you can convert a project. You can click this yellow banner up here, and it's going to copy this project to the new Descript. Or you can also, back in your drive, right-click a Classic project and copy to Storyboard. Before this morning, there was a limit on the size. It's a complicated limit, but it's essentially file sizes and the amount of edits and the amount of compositions. It's kind of all of these different parameters, and that limit was low. So for those folks that were using Classic, it's just like you get stuck sometimes if you try to copy. That limit is gonzo. You can now copy any project, any size. If by wild chance you run into any issues while copying Classic projects to Storyboard, please let us know, but we feel pretty confident that you won't.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, it seems like we've increased project size to the point where we can no longer hit it on even the most extremely large projects we have seen to date. So
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. But if there's an ambitious person out there with God knows what.
We know they're out there. We know you're out there.
Yeah. Like all the Star Wars movies on your Descript drive or something.
I want to take that moment to say it is possible to have too much in a Descript project.
Right.
So it's a good practice to not have all of your media from one podcast season in a single project. Break those projects up.
Yeah.
Split up projects. Spread the wealth. Don't overload a project with too much media. That'll help you out in the long run.
Cool. Good to know. Little Descript hygiene hack there.
Right.
Okay, cool. We got through all of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major updates in the version 63 release.
Yeah.
Lots of awesome stuff. There are also some smaller tweaks that you can check out at feedback.descript.com/changelog. So if you're interested in the little cosmetic tweaks, definitely go check that out. Cool. It looks like no other questions in the chat. So we might be good to call it, unless there's anything else you wanna call out here, Kevin.
I don't think. I think we're great. I think we've covered all the release stuff. For folks that had any other questions about features, whatnot, yeah, please hit us up, and our support team is there to help out. Or come to the one-on-one session on Friday.
Absolutely. Definitely come check that out. I put that link in the chat, but you can also find all of our events in Discord listed up there. And once again, if you are not in the Discord, you can scan that link and you'll get spit out right into our Discord. So. Oh, looks like we someone asked a question that we missed earlier. So let's see.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
When I duplicate a transcription, is there a way to place it in its own separate file instead of in the drop down of the same file?
Duplicate a transcription. Imagine what you mean is a composition. So if I have a file that I've transcribed, it's a common misconception that this transcription lives only for transcription purposes. But in Descript, obviously, maybe not obviously, we edit using the transcript, right? When you want to remove a section of a video.
Ecamm Live Academy. So what is the Ecamm Live Academy and why should you join it? So what is the Ecamm Live Academy and why should you join us?
So obviously a double take right there. You delete this in the script and it can remove that section of the audio and video. That's the editing purpose. But duplicating a video or a composition, in this case, done in the drop-down menu right here, composition drop-down, will give you a duplicate reference to the original file. It doesn't affect the original file at all. In this dropdown, you can also create folders. So I could put all of, Adrian's compositions in a single folder. But just know that this transcription, unless I make any corrections to it, is going to exist no matter what I do and I duplicate these compositions. So when I duplicate a composition, it's also going to duplicate all of the edits. If I go up to my media library, and this is that file, Adrian's file right here, if I right-click it and create another composition from that original file, it will use the original transcription that was made of that file. There's no real way to duplicate a transcription. It's more you're duplicating edits and references to the original files that you've imported that happen to have a transcription attached to them. If that makes sense.
Cool. Sweet. They said, can I move it to another folder? ?
Definitely. You can move anything anywhere. Absolutely. So you can right-click these and open them in new windows. You can have multiple projects open at different times. You can go back to go here to File, New Window, and that'll open up your Drive view. So you could have multiple projects. And you can also just drag and drop these to different folders. So if I had another folder that was labeled maybe edits or something, I can move these compositions to different folders if I need to. And if I wanted to just take all of this to a different project, I could use Command or Control A to select all. And I could cut or copy it. And then go to a different project, whether it's a new or an existing project. And just paste it right in.
Awesome. Nice.
Cool.
Thanks, Kevin. Cool. So yeah, sounds like we answered their question. So that's great. If anybody else has any other questions, join us on Friday for Descript 101. That link is in the chat. And yeah, definitely join us on Discord. Reach out to our support team if you need any specific help. And yeah, we'll see you at the next one. Kevin, thank you so much for being an awesome guide as per usual.
Thank you, Christiana, being a great host.
It's my pleasure. All right, everyone. Thanks for being awesome. There's some really nice comments in the chat. Thanks, Zach. And yeah, super glad we got to do this. And we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.